That's awesome. Hello and welcome, Success Grid Nation, to this episode of the Success Grid podcast. I am your host, Hussein Talib, and this episode I have with me Peter Gerges to talk about how to build a website that converts better than ever, I guess. So, Peter is a seasoned digital expert. He's a dynamic force behind Swift Press Support, a game changing venture offering unparalleled technical support to WordPress website owners. With a rich history as the founder of Grace Digital Solutions, Peter has proven track record in crafting exceptional websites for diverse clientele, from businesses to personal brands. So, Peter, welcome to this episode of Success Grid podcast. I am glad you are joining me for this one. And our topic here now, we are going to be talking about important topic for business owners and founders, especially online and even offline. So, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Hussein. I'm so excited to be here. I know we've already been chatting for a while, and I'm excited to see where we're going to take this conversation, hopefully to help out our fellow business owners with their websites.
Awesome, awesome. So, but first of all, because this is the Success Grid podcast, I want to know what's your definition of success and what do you hear or see other people define success at and agree or disagree with that?
Yes, absolutely. I think that I see that a lot of people in our business world, they equate success with money. So personally, I don't feel like that's the way to go. But I think the reason why they say that, like, oh, if you have a six-figure revenue business, or if you have a $1 million business or multi-million-dollar business, oh, you've made it, you've achieved it, and that is how people, equate success. I personally don't think that's the way to do it, because I know some people who have achieved that kind of success, but unfortunately their marriage is bad. They have bad relationships. They don't have no relationships with their children. And so it's a high cost, where, hey, you are successful. Yeah, you make a lot of money in your business, and sure, you have business success, however you say it, but what point of that is it if you can't enjoy it with people that you love and people that you care about? So I'm not a big fan of this definition. I think some people also say, good success in business or good success is to be happy. If you have a business and you're happy, then that's a good success way. And for me, I can understand why some people say that, because happiness is so important to people. But if the business isn't really for bringing in enough revenue for your business, then maybe, yeah, you could be happy, but really, you're still struggling. So I think success for me is going to be a happy medium between some of those things. I think something that's really important is to do the success is doing what you're called to do, or achieving your destiny. And I believe that every person here on earth has been given a God-given destiny of what they're supposed to be doing here. So hopefully whatever it is that you're doing, it's aligned with your destiny, aligned with your calling. And I think that when you're doing that, that's when you're going to find fulfillment, you're going to find joy, and I believe that the money will also follow. So I think that that is my definition of success.
Yeah, definitely. Everything at some point will fall into place if we are just following our purpose and doing our own thing and not being distracted at what he's done, what she's done. So that's very
Yes,
important
yes,
to focus on ourselves. So now
exactly.
there is a lot of talk when we talk about a website. So there is a lot of people, whether newbies that they want to have a website, or people who have been in the game for a long time and have a website for years now. They keep asking the same questions, and especially if there is an opportunity to switch to another platform or whatever. And you have your company and you have your business. You're helping businesses create WordPress websites and other platforms. So, from your own experience, what is the best platform to have a website on?
Oh, absolutely. So, no doubt, in my opinion, WordPress by far is the best platform to have websites, especially for business owners. And if you take a look at the statistics, Hussein, so you have almost 1.98, so almost 2 billion websites in the world. Okay. Of those, 830 million of them are built on WordPress. 830. That comes out to 42% of all the websites in the world are built on WordPress. So this speaks about how popular it is. And the reason why it's so popular is because it's open source. That means that it's free for everybody, and unless all you have to do is get a web host. And because of that, it's being updated regularly. It's very secure. Whenever there's new security vulnerabilities, they get patched very quickly. And it has all these different businesses that have been built on top of WordPress. So whatever you want to do, whatever you want to build, you can be sure that you will always be able to find it on WordPress, as opposed to any of the other platforms out there. If you even take a look at the statistics, like the next biggest one platform, that has the most websites online, it's not even in the double digits. All the other ones are like, 5% market share, 3% market share, 7%, compared to astronomically, wow, WordPress, 42% share in all the world. So I think that's the best one to go with, especially for website owners. I have clients that come to me and who hired me from other website builders who've used the smaller, cut and pub DIY, do-it-yourselfers. And they come and they hire us because they say, oh, I can't get this to work. Oh, I've outgrown this. I can't find this feature in my platform. And you'll never hear that with anybody who has a WordPress website. So I just want to kind of compare and contrast the smaller platforms with WordPress, which is definitely, in my opinion, number one for a reason.
Yeah, definitely. It's been here. It's been in business basically WordPress for a long time, years now. I don't know, 30 years maybe or something like
Yes.
that. I'm not sure. So I'm a big fan of WordPress, but sometimes some people might ask if they have this kind of questions, like you mentioned security, for example, but sometimes because it has to integrate WordPress as a core update, like for example, if you are going to be talking about that, and with other, in order for the website to function, it has to be installed with other plugins, right? So in order for the website to function correctly, everything needs to be like, let's say, in a good harmony between the update of the WordPress core and the plugins that installed on it. So someone might ask, like, there are other platforms like we were talking also earlier, talking about ClickFunnels, System.io, and there are these platforms that basically there is no update on these platforms, right? They have updates, but they have updates on their back end, so you as a user, you don't have to do anything with it. So if someone asks you to, they want to migrate from WordPress to other websites or from these kind of websites to WordPress, how would you answer them? And do you tell them that what the business needs and show them what their business is doing and what it needs to help them make a decision in this regard?
Yes, absolutely. I love this question, Hussein. I think it's very important. And the thing is that with, like, let's say some of the other ones, like, the other updates, is that the problem with using some of the smaller websites or the other ones that have, minimum updates, is that you're not the one making the decision about what features to roll out. So it's basically up to the business that you're using. So up to the website builder that you're using. So if they want to create, a new course management system, and that's their next big feature, and they're having all of their developers make that feature, you don't need that feature, but you wish that there was another feature that they had. Like, let's say, for example, you want more e-commerce, or, creating like a loyalty coupons, for your e-commerce, and that feature is not available. Well, now you're stuck. Okay, because now you can't add that new feature onto your website because you know what, it's up to the business owner, and they're not doing that. They're not working on that feature. But as opposed to WordPress, hey, you know what? You want to add a loyalty program to your e-commerce store like this? You can find 10 different softwares, 10 different plugins, that can do that. Hey, you need to add this other feature. Hey, no problem, you can do it. And so that's the difference, is that I always advise business owners, don't think just about where your business is today. Think about where do you want it in the next, let's say, year, 2 years, and 3 years. Try to think about your vision, all right? Because that's going to dictate what platforms to use and what things you want to use. Because if you're just stuck in, hey, I just need a website right now and that's it, I just need something, you know what? If God blesses your business and you have more sales and everything, and you're using a smaller platform, that doesn't have all these features that can be added at a later time, you're going to spend more money to have somebody, a new web designer or developer creating a brand new website because you built it on the wrong platform. So try to think ahead about where you want to go and to use the tools as if you're going there. You use System.io, Hussein. I think it's a wonderful tool. You're thinking about the future. I could tell because nobody's going to be using that unless they know that they're growing their business. So that's the kind of thinking that I would always recommend for business owners to have.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I'm not the expert on WordPress, but I do still have WordPress, and my website or blog basically is WordPress.
For sure.
As you mentioned, it have the flexibility, and it's going to have infinite flexibility, I guess. If that's what I said, there is correct.
It's
So
true.
yeah, so now like with you helping other people with their business websites, what is the most important, like let's say, uh, page on the website should be designed? Is it, a lot of people could talk about the home page and the about page. So how do you help people customize the best possible page for their business to get clients, let's say?
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're right exactly about those two pages. Number one is the homepage. Okay. Anytime that you go into your analytics, for 99% of the people, you're going to see the most popular page on your website is probably going to be the homepage, unless you're doing some kind of marketing campaigns where you're running traffic and doing advertising to a specific page. And then number two is the about page. So let's focus for a while just about the homepage. So the number one most important thing that you need to do on the homepage is what's called the hero section, or some people call it the masthead, different things, different names for it, but it's basically everything that's above the fold. When you go in on a new website or any website, what is the first thing that you see? And so the problems that I see in this area by business websites and business owners is that they create basically some kind of things that are not very understandable, and they think that it sounds cool, but it just makes people confused. I was on a website the other day, and basically it says, taking your business to the next level. But what is that? So many businesses can say that. What are you offering? What are you doing? And so Google has a test. They call it the 5-second test, in which they say that they've shown in their analytics, because they own Google Analytics, that if a person goes to a website and they don't understand what a website does or has to offer within 5 seconds, that person will click out of that browser and they will leave your website as quickly as possible. And so this is a big problem for business owners, because then now they're leaving money on the table because the people are leaving their website because they're not even learning about their products and services that they have to offer, because they have a homepage that's confusing and that they think is very cool, but actually nobody understands what they're doing. So the number one most important thing is in the hero section. That very first thing that people see is that you have to say in the title is create a benefit headline. Hey, whatever the product that it is that you're offering, and then followed by what is it that you offer people. So let's say, for example, a swimming pool business, maybe a swimming pool business. The headline could be, bringing you safe swimming pools to you and your family. And then underneath it, maybe a short one sentence or two sentences. What do you offer? Hey, we offer swimming pool cleaning services that don't break the bank. There you go. Now people understand, hey, what's the benefit of your product or service, and what is it that you offer and do? If they're interested, they're going to scroll a little bit more, and hopefully they can do some things further on your website. So I think that's probably one of the best tips and the biggest mistake that I see people on the homepage, and how to fix it.
Definitely. But now, speaking of that, um, if we talk about businesses, the most important thing now, I believe, is like to collect the clientele email addresses and names. And this is something that has been talked about for a long time, I think. And do you think that WordPress websites can handle this effectively, or do you think that a website owner can integrate between having a website like I am actually doing now, the website that's WordPress and a blog and has the podcast episode in there, and using my own landing pages with a different platform, because having also plugins for WordPress for this type of thing to collect emails will have you to basically integrate with multiple platforms. So do you think is good or a bad idea?
Yeah, sure. I think it's an interesting idea, Hussein, but the most important thing I think that you're talking about is you should be building your email list. So that's absolutely important. But there's the name of software in this area called ESPs, which is email service providers. Of course, I know, Hussein, you're familiar with it, but for our audience, email service providers are going to be, specific software providers that are experts in collecting email addresses and enabling you to send out newsletters and emails to the audience and to the people that you've collected. Now, it's very important that you have one of these set up for you. It can, and almost all of them, like 100% of them, are going to integrate with WordPress. So all of them will be. So nobody doesn't want to play well with WordPress because it's the number one most popular platform. So, some popular names in this area is going to be like MailChimp, Convert, Drip, or ConvertKit, Drip, all these different ones. There's like hundreds and hundreds of them. So it's very important to have that because here's what they do is that these people, these companies are specialized in battling spam and making sure that your email addresses don't get marked as spam and that you are in compliance with all the laws. You have laws in the EU, you have laws in the United States, you have different laws all over the world. So it's important that you choose one of these ESPs and stick with it, find out the features that are important to you because there's a lot of different features from automations, different marketing and stuff. And then it can integrate with your WordPress and have WordPress play friendly with that and the ESP. So that way you're not doing everything and putting your email addresses inside of WordPress because eventually you're going to run into problems with that. But you want for WordPress to be like a bridge to pass along the information from WordPress into the email service provider that you've chosen. And I think that will play well nicely. And I think that's the best solution for email marketing campaigns.
Yeah. So when we talk about websites that converts, now there are multiple things that convert to a business owner. Like might some business owner on their, for example, WordPress site might be concerned with someone reading their blog post and leaving a like or a comment on that blog post, so that might considered as a convert. Some people, like we are talking about here, they are stressing the importance of having the email address and names to connect with them in the future. So I believe, or I assume you do too, that the best thing to do is to focus on that, to build the audience of your email list, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so now what is the best like thing that you can do and help your clients do, whether it's WordPress site or other platforms, to have the best conversion rate for people, and how people can actually let's say maybe talk about certain freebies, like a lot of people talk about PDFs or videos or audios, these type of things. So what do you think from your experience and working with other people and businesses, that has the best chances of success and the easiest to create? Because a lot of business owners actually struggle, like, what should I do? Should I create this or this or that? So what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's you hit the nail on the head with that one, Hussein, because a lot of businesses do struggle with that. And because we're talking about businesses in general, there's going to be like no like specific answer that can fit everybody's needs, but I can guide you towards like how to think about it. So a lot of different industries are going to be different. For example, I can tell you for sure, like something in the health and fitness industry is probably something that's going to do very well. It's going to be videos, because those audiences are primed to always be on social media, watch videos about health and fitness, for the people who really care about bodybuilding, stuff like that. So that's and video is gonna do well actually in a lot of different cases. And then in other cases, yeah, you can get like you can do like a checklist or a PDF or of a certain thing. But I think one thing to think about is to think about, hey, what's the biggest question that people have about whatever product or service or whatever your offer is, and answer that and create something for that, whether it's a video, whether it's a PDF, or whether it's something else, you know. So for example, in my business, the number one thing that people want to ask about is how much, So I can create, for example, I can create a video and say, how much can you expect to pay a web designer in 2024? That could be one idea. Another one, I could make it into a PDF, download, latest pricing for 2024 website designs and what can you do with that. So those are great ways to think about, either about, hey, what's the biggest question that people have about your product or service and that you could answer about, or another way to think about it is a biggest objection that people have about buying your product or service or something around that, and that you crush it and do it in a way it causes intrigue, that's curious, and that's very interesting. Then whether you do a PDF, whether you do a video, then you can try these different things. Hey, what happens if we create a video? What happens, if it's a 2-minute video? What if it's a 3-minute video, 5-minute video? I think also a good strategy in this area is to do A/B split testing. For our audience who's not familiar with A/B split testing, it's a way where you can basically launch 2 different things against each other, and you have tools inside of WordPress that will show you, hey, which one's more popular? Did more people like your PDF, or did more people like your video, or did more people like your landing page with this headline or with that headline? And when you compare them, then after you see them, you pick the winner, whichever one won, and that's the one that you put all of your money behind and all of your advertising behind, or any kind of popularity behind, so that way it can get you're always putting your best foot forward.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of tools, now I remember the day when I installed my first WordPress website. That was like maybe 20 years ago or something. So you find these tools or plugins that are in the back end of your website, and always when you watched or when I read or watched, you should remove this and you should install this. So now, starting from a fresh website perspective and going along as future goes, I assume that the business owners would know what they would need to track or see or optimize or convert for the website. But as for example, a starting website, what are the most important, let's say, tools or plugins that are, let's say, crucial to the success of that website, whether it's speed, because speed is very important to the website. Uh, of course, there are multiple things or elements involved, the hosting company and the hosting servers, a lot of things that goes into the WordPress website, and of course the tools and their back end, and how much resources they need from the hosting company, I guess. So what are the best tools to start with and that are sustainable, and to have a website that is basically can run as, let's say, with not that much maintenance?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So this is going to be the advice only for people who want to be able to do it themselves. So my recommendation is for you to build up my audience, I was going to say, always try to build up your sales and marketing, so you build it up to the point where you can hire your website out, because you're not the professional. And the thing is, with WordPress websites, it needs regular maintenance. And so for you to go up there and once a week be spending your time updating plugins, keeping up to date on the information, and creating brand new pages for new products launches or for new services, or to make any updates to your website, it's usually not the best time for the best way for a business owner to spend their time in their business doing these things that they can contract out for. Honestly, it's not that much money. So that's why I say, hey, build up, if somebody's struggling, hey, build up your business and then eventually hire it out. So in the meantime, you're doing a brand new WordPress installation and you want to be able to have a good website. Here's what you got to think about. Are you selling online? Yeah, if you are, then you're going to need a shopping cart. So my favorite shopping carts are just going to be, for WordPress, is going to be WooCommerce and also a SureCart. That's SURE. SureCart is our 2 shopping carts that I highly recommend, and they're very, very popular, with WooCommerce being the most popular, I think, shopping cart probably in the world, because it's installed on so many websites. Also, you have to think about a theme. So on website, think about WordPress. WordPress is kind of like a car. So the WordPress, the core is the engine. So the part of the car of when it comes to WordPress. The WordPress is the engine, and then there has to be a theme. The theme is going to be the paint on the outside, and so you need to have a good theme. And the theme is what's going to enable you to be able to make your website very pretty, and what's going to enable you to also create, nice updates to the pages to move things around. So popular themes, plugins over here. One that I like very much is called the Divi theme. That's Divi, Divi theme. It's one of the most popular WordPress themes of all time. It's also quite affordable, and it has a nice drag and drop builder, and you can do some very cool things with it that extends the capability of WordPress. Another one is going to be Elementor. This is a very popular plugin that also is similar to Divi, and that gives you drag and drop capabilities to be able to move things around. Personally, I'm not a big fan of themes on ThemeForest. I've used them in the past, and I've had issues with them because if you use a WordPress theme and then the developer of the theme, they're always motivated to create new themes because the web trends are always changing. So what ends up happening is that if you choose like just a theme on ThemeForest or one of those other things that's not very popular, after a while it will get outdated, and the developer will stop updating it, and then it could be opened up for security holes, and that's happened to me in the past. So now I only use WordPress themes by big companies that are super popular that I know are going to be in constant development in the future. So you always want to look at the leadership of the team itself. So that's why I say Elementor is very good, Divi is very good. I also like Astra theme, very good. Cadence theme, very good. All these ones are going to be big names in WordPress industry, and they'll be around for a long time. So those are kind of some of the tools that you can think about using if somebody was starting a new site.
So I guess WordPress is a behemoth of a platform because it has a lot of things that going on, whether it's the core of the WordPress or the other plugins or tools that are going to be used with WordPress. Okay, so but now in regards to that, can AI, for example, like you mentioned, there is like, for example, tool for testing. I have never personally done A/B testing on WordPress, so that on the other platforms, yes, but on WordPress, no, I haven't, to be honest. But now, for the website owners, like when we talk about the design, we talked a little bit earlier, but in regards to convert people, do you think people need to use AI tools like ChatGPT to write their either headlines or for their websites? Because it is a big ask for people to build their websites, and this is one of the reasons that other platforms other than WordPress developed, because it needs more maintenance generally from other platforms.
Yes, that is true. That WordPress does need more maintenance than other platforms, but it comes at a great cost, because WordPress is going to grow with you and going to be with your business forever. The other ones, eventually you're gonna run into some kind of obstacle or snag where you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I need to switch website platforms eventually. And that's what I found with people who are always converting to WordPress and leaving their websites behind with the other, smaller web platforms. So
Yeah.
when it comes to converting, Hussein, I think that it's very important to you can use AI. AI is not going to be the end all be all for all of your converting needs. It's a good place to start. And also for people who use AI, if you don't know, the prompt is the most important thing. So whatever you type in to the questions and how you do it in a certain way is going to vary about how you get the kind of result that you get from ChatGPT, Bard, Claude, or Gemini, which is now the new Bard. Google changed their names from Bard to Gemini. So all these things is very, it's going to depend. So there's even a whole, area of study called, AI prompt engineering for people to learn how do you make the correct prompt to get, the the best, results from ChatGPT. So I would say, yes, use AI to go and ask, hey, what should be the headline be for your hero section, all these different things. But you know what? I'll give our audience a tip, is that if you're able to afford this and you're able, or actually there's a free version of this too, but I haven't used the free version. But if you're a subscriber to ChatGPT, which is $20 per month, so it is more on the affordable side. They have now these custom personas. The custom personas or ChatGPTs are basically going to be people that basically they're programmed ChatGPTs that are very specialized in specific fields. One of them is going to be a copywriter. So you can go and chat with an expert ChatGPT and go and ask it to create your headline for you, which will get you different results than if you were just to chat with a general GPT. And so you want to be specific, because one of the things that I learned about prompt engineering is that you always want to tell the AI who you want it to be. So instead of just saying, hey, give me a headline for my website, you want to say, you are a world-class copywriter and website designer. World-class, you're the best, all right? Now, I need you to create a hero headline for me, and because I provide swimming pool services, or I sell jams, or I sell whatever, and then give it some more information in the context, and then you're going to see the results that you get. And you have to have like conversations with it, go back and forth, so that way you can come down and get the best headline. So definitely AI tools are wonderful to use. If you use one of those general ones, and I've used them, I've tested them out, honestly, the output has been garbage. All right, at this point, when I've used it, I've used AI tools where you can you go to a website generator and you give it your business and what your business is all about. You give it just a little prompt and it goes and creates your whole website in like 2 minutes. I've done it. The results are not up to par at the moment. It needs more engineering for sure. So I don't recommend that at the present time.
Yeah, I agree with you that you have to chat with GPT as like you're chatting with a person. So that will result in the best kind of result, I guess. So
100.
what are the best kind of advice or the worst advice that you have received in two levels, like as a business yourself, as an entrepreneur yourself, and regards to also WordPress and websites, someone told you this is the best advice or this is the best worst advice. So there are two levels to my questions here.
Yeah, sure. So I think that the worst advice was something that I shared a little bit earlier, was, hey, go get a theme from Theme Forest and go pick whatever you like and just choose it and install it on your WordPress site, and you'll be good to go. And you'll make your WordPress website to be up and running in no time. That part was true. So I went and I did that one time many years ago, but it came back to sting me, because the developer stopped producing it. And then now I wanted to change themes. And now to change themes, it was a nightmare, because when you're changing themes from one developer to another, oh my gosh, it's so bad, because you're going to have to redo a lot of parts of your website, your single blog posts, or your different pages, because maybe they have short codes in them, they have different things that were developed, custom made by the previous developer. So now you probably are going to have to start from scratch. And that's exactly one time I had to pay $5,000 to somebody, to a custom developer. This is back in 2014. So the technology was not there yet. WordPress wasn't where it was today. And I paid $5,000 for somebody to take my WordPress theme from where it was to another theme that was very expensive. And I said, okay, from now on, I will never do that again. Always choose the same theme provider every time that you go with. That's why I gave you the names of some of the best theme providers, so you can just choose one, and that will be the one that you stick with for a lifetime. So that was the worst advice, is just pick whatever you want from Theme Forest and go ahead and live your best life, even though it could be a time saver. I think the best advice that I got when it comes to websites and businesses is test everything. Test everything. So many times I thought, I'm creating a headline, and I'm thinking, man, oh my gosh, this headline is going to be so amazing. It's going to bring in so many sales, and all these different things. And then I go and I launch it and it doesn't perform very well. I'm like, what happened? I thought I was a genius. Turns out I'm not, you know? So then I go and I create, you know, get some feedback from other people and get some ideas. Then I start to do A/B testing and I test different things. And oh my gosh, I find out that my original headline, my original things caused people to be confused. It didn't really resonate with the people. They didn't make people want my offer, or they didn't care about the offer. And now, because I was able to test, I'm able to find out, hey, where are the problems? Where are the mistakes that I'm making? And where are my blind spots? Is that I have blind spots. And so it's very humbling to learn that, hey, I have blind spots and I need to account for those things by testing and taking other people's advice as well, when it comes to my website and other parts of my business too.
Definitely. There's a lot of things to do on a website, and you have to test and test and test, because then when you reach a point where you are tweaking things multiple times and reach, let's say, the success formula, you might say, you can stick with it for a while and see the results come in, uh, kind of on a semi-autopilot, I guess.
For
So
sure.
this is the point of having a website. You want something or someone to work for you when you are sleeping, I guess. So that's very important, definitely. Yeah. So what would you say as a final takeaway, Peter, for people that are either starting to want to build the new websites, or they have websites, what things to look for, or design advice in general?
Yeah, design advice in general, I would say basically don't create the website that you love. Create the website that your client will love. This is one problem that I see, that people, when they go to if a business owner, you know, doesn't want to hire somebody, you know, or outsource, you know, their website to a company, they'll definitely be doing it themselves. And then they just say, hey, what do I like? Oh, I like the color purple. Okay, and then I like I like the way this looks. You know, I like something from the 90s, the 2000s, whatever era they're in, you know. So then you go and you create a website and it's like appealing to you and you think, oh my gosh, it's so amazing and beautiful. But only little do you know that your clients are coming in and your site looks outdated. It doesn't look modern. It's not fresh. It's not up to the latest web design trends, and website trends change every year. So this is something that we need to keep up with. So then after that, you're left thinking, oh my gosh, you know, like I have you know, why are sales not coming in? Well, it's because, you know, you have an outdated site, and that, you know, your clients aren't resonating with it. They don't like it, or it doesn't give them the information that they need in a way that's presentable. All these things. So that's why, you know, always, if you're not going to outsource it and to give it to a company, always get other eyes to look at it. Go ask your clients, if you have clients, your customers, hey, can I ask you something? I'm creating a website. What do you think about this page? Can you be brutally honest with me? If you don't like it, please tell me. You know, how would you be able to find this information on my website? Show them a test, and have the phone with them, because the number one way that people come to your website is through the phone. So have the phone with them and watch them interact with your website. How did they go? How did they navigate? Where did they click on? And I bet you anything, the areas where you think they're going to click on, they can't even see it. They don't even click on it. And the areas that you thought that they would ignore, those are the areas that are going to be like, oh, what's this? They find it more intriguing. It's full of surprises. So I would say try to you know, get some of your customers and clients to use it, and for you to get some advice about you know, what is it that really resonates with them.
Like you mentioned, here now is very important. Like, do you think that the use of extra tools, like the tools that track the clicks on a certain buttons or links on a website, is something that it should be installed or coded into WordPress to follow these kind of things on a website?
Absolutely. I love it. I love those tools. I have them also installed on my own website, and I installed for my e-commerce website, the clients who are selling products. And man, they tell me, you know, wow, Peter, like this information is gold. You know, it's like they would pay so much money for this information, because it tells them exactly, hey, where people are clicking, where's the heat maps, and what's popular and what's not. And it's literally, it makes thousands of dollars of difference in their business. So absolutely very, very important, Hussein.
Definitely. So, Peter, where can people learn more about you, what you do, how you can help them with their websites and have their websites convert better?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can come to our website. Our website is swiftpresssupport.com. So that's swiftpresssupport.com. And you can go there and, we help we have WordPress website owners get a new website without the high price tag. And also, if you don't want a new website and you want somebody to just help you with the maintenance or somebody to help you with creating new pages for you or just taking care of the monthly aspects of it, we do it at very affordable costs. So that is an area where we excel at. And feel free to message me, go to the contact page if you have any questions or want to get in touch. My social media is also on there, but most of the time I love talking to people like this, one-on-one videos. I love people. I love hanging out with people, networking, talking, hanging out, seeing how I can help out. So you'll find me a lot of times chatting or being in some kind of meetings or conference calls. And you can also book a call with me on my website for free for a 15-minute chat if you want to talk about anything website related.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Peter, thank you very much for your insights on this episode of the podcast. Really enjoyed it. And having website for any business now is not like mandatory. It's not just a must. It is like life or death, I guess, matter. And nowadays,
Yeah, I love the way you said that. It is like life or death. It's like it's do or die,
yeah, it's not what matters how many followers you have on your Facebook. It matters how many people are your clients through your website. Awesome.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Peter, for joining me for this one.
Thank you, Hussein. I enjoyed your questions so much. I enjoyed hanging out with you. Your questions were very thoughtful, very thought-provoking. I think that hopefully the answers will be helpful to our fellow business owners, and I can't wait to connect with you again in the future, Hussein.